What's up everyone, welcome back to Overlanding World. In this video, we're gonna talk about everything that is wrong with our 280,000 mile Toyota Sequoia. We've owned this car for about 2 years now and have put close to 30,000 miles on it throughout our amazing trips. However, we've had either broken a lot of things or a lot of things have broken on us throughout that amount of time. And that's kind of what we're gonna dive into in this video, what you can expect when you have a 280,000 mile car.
We will start off this video by starting from the front and moving our way back. So we have done quite a few modifications on the car from it being stock. We have this off-road steel front bumper. The first thing that's wrong on it is our winch is missing. We kind of broke it and then fixed it, but we still haven't put it back on because it's way too heavy and we're kind of too lazy to do this. Another thing that is wrong with it is our Toyota emblem right here is completely fallen off. We don't know where it went. Our little side trim piece underneath the headlight has completely disappeared too. We have no idea where that went. Our D-rings always come loose and we have to tighten it every time we stop somewhere. More things that are wrong with the car are our headlights. Ever since we installed the aftermarket fender flared front bumpers, we kind of lost the ability to bolt our lights, so we have just been holding them with zip ties, and this one is just kind of loose, or maybe the other one is loose. More things that are wrong with it is these fenders are not painted. We bought paint, but we're too lazy to paint it, and it kind of rattles, so we have more zip ties kind of holding it in place right here because this part does not line up as well and can kind of move with wind. And yeah, we're gonna get to this. Continuing with everything that's wrong with the car, we're gonna move into the suspension right here. The upper control arms are starting to get worn out. They're built by, what was it? Something off-road. They're one of the cheaper ones that we got back when we built this. So they're starting to leak, and sometimes when grease gets out of them, they start to squeak really loud. Another thing that started to go wrong when we installed the bigger tires was we realized the front brakes were very inefficient at stopping the car and the ABS kind of no longer worked. An upgrade that we did there was installing the GX460 front calipers, which allows us to run bigger rotors and kind of gives us a bigger lever arm for the brakes. If you guys are interested in those, you can get them on our website at overlandingworld.co. They're a super cool upgrade and kind of made a pretty huge safety difference on our rig. With that, we can kind of continue moving down the line. We have a few dents alongside of the car from being high centered in various different places. There's dents here and on the other side. We should really get rock sliders, but yeah, we haven't kind of came to that yet. It'll be one of the next few things that we do to the car. When we first bought the car, it came with a cracked front windshield, and this is another thing that we haven't gotten to replacing. It'll be one of the few next things that we do soon. Another thing that has been around since we got the car is the power steering leak. I think our rack and pinion is leaking from somewhere. We just have to top off once every 2,000 miles. So it just leaks and then we just top it off. I should probably fix it. It's probably super simple, like a hose somewhere, but it doesn't bug us enough for me to kind of start diagnosing.
All right, so moving along the driver's side here, we do have more dents kind of on the side of the car. Again, another reason why we need rock sliders, but just somewhere we got stuck and kind of high centered one time. And so we have some stories to tell with those dents. And then moving to the back, we have a few more things that we've changed with the car or upgraded over the time that we've had it. And if you're a Sequoia owner, you know that the rear door latch is a real problem, and we've replaced this twice, took apart the whole inside, did all that stuff, and it still broke. So we finally created a solution where we put this strap. Yes, this is a strap from a winch line that we used to have, and we basically put a few zip ties to tie around the latch. So once we go to the left, it manually opens the door and we can lift all the way up and then we have no issues. Another thing that's kind of messed up in the back of the car is the rear window. It doesn't go fully down, and this is something I was really excited when we purchased this car because it's perfect for like camping, sleeping inside the car, and like all the Sequoias and 4Runners have it. But one time our car completely stalled, and we had no way, it wasn't starting, we had no way to push it onto a trailer. And so in the moment, stranded like 500 miles from home, we decided to use another car to push this car onto the trailer. It might be a stupid idea, but the car got on the trailer and we eventually got home. The aftermath of that is that we obviously did create some dents in our rear door. We did pop most of them out, but our window now doesn't go down all the way. We could still get away with a few inches, but we're scared if we push it down, it's never gonna come back up. And as you can see, our rear bumper has seen better days. None of this damage is surprisingly it's not from us. So this kind of all happened this was already here when we bought the car. There's a little bit also on the driver's side. We never really cared about these things when purchasing the car because we knew that, we're gonna do an off-road rear bumper, we're gonna do all these modifications. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's kind of in the plans. But yeah, we didn't do any of this damage, surprisingly. But if you do come under the car, you can see that our muffler is hanging quite low. That we did do. I think we hit something one day and it's just been kind of hanging low, but it's not gonna fall off, hopefully. All right, so our next big modification that we made after we broke some things was switching to a manual transfer case. So in the 2005 and I think above models, it's going to come with the button four-wheel drive. After we went through some mud puddles, our four-wheel drive unit was just not responding. Our actuator was completely toast. So once we made it back home, we decided to do the manual transfer case swap. This came out of a Toyota FJ Cruiser, I believe year 2007. We do have a video on that. If you guys want to check it out, and we'll sure to be linking it down below. We go through all the steps that we went through to install this. But again, this is something that we replaced because we broke something. Would we have done it otherwise? Probably, just because the electric system is usually not that reliable. But ever since we've had this, we've had no issues at all. And it's honestly been really fun to kind of like shift the car into the right gear and keep going. Another thing that is now wrong with the car, because we like to touch things and mess it up, is our gauge cluster. The only thing that works on it currently is the oil pressure light, or the oil pressure gauge, the battery, and our gas gauge, and sometimes our RPMs. The rest is completely frozen or broken. This is because we did take it apart and kind of tamper with it when we were doing the four-wheel drive manual transfer swap, that whole situation. So we never know how fast we're going. We just kind of, flow with the speed of traffic at this point and hope for the best. But this is something that we do want to get fixed because it is kind of irritating to do that. But let me show you guys what we're talking about. So you start the car, and the main one here, so these kind of all look okay. These lights are fine. We just have something unplugged in the dash. The RPMs sometimes are okay. I feel like they're a little bit off. Our speedometer doesn't work at all. Our gas gauge is fine. We're just poor and don't have gas. And our temperature is, we're really cold right now, but we're in LA and it's like 90 degrees. So obviously that is not accurate. But it pretty much stays there, and when it gets to a quarter, we know we're at like that half point. So we always say if it really gets to the H, then we're toast. We need to go home. Next thing we kind of changed in our car was we installed an Apple CarPlay unit. What comes stock with these cars, it does have like a navigation and everything, but it has no Bluetooth or anything like that. So we did want to have at least Bluetooth, and then now we have Apple CarPlay, which is really helpful on long road trips. Only thing with this is that we installed it ourselves and something happened with the wiring, and when we play a song that's like really like with a lot of bass or something, we feel like we're literally like in a club, and it's just like vibrates so much. So we try to stay away from those songs and just try to play stuff that's more mellow because it's just way too loud. Another thing with this, once we installed this, the TV doesn't work anymore. So if you guys didn't know, when you have the limited version, I think this only comes with the limited version, I might be wrong, but it comes with a full like TV, and they used to have a DVD player in the center console here, and so we enjoyed that for like a few months before we replaced this head unit. But once you replace the head unit, the TV no longer corresponds to this, and then you have no more TV. So it was kind of like, do we want like CarPlay and have like be able to play our music, or do we want our friends in the back to be able to watch a movie? So we spoiledly chose ourselves on that one. All right, coming to the driver's side, obviously we have some wear and tear on our seats, and surprisingly, this is the only seat that actually has a full tear in it. Obviously, if the car is moving, there's always someone sitting here, so the seat gets the most use, obviously. So we're lucky that this is the only tear, but hopefully we're trying to keep it from spreading throughout the seat, and then obviously we try to keep the other seats as clean as possible. But just to remind you, this car is from 2005 and it is very old, and we're pretty sure that the family before us had a lot of kids and this car was packed full. So we try to take care of it as much as we can. Next thing that's wrong with the driver's seat that we've noticed, and curious if anyone else has noticed this with their car, is that especially if you like slam on the brakes or if you accelerate really fast, you could feel the driver's seat like shift forward like maybe like half an inch to an inch, and then or shift back like half an inch to an inch. So there might be something like loose down here. We have taken it apart in the past and we didn't really see anything wrong. So it's not like we're flying forward or flying back, but it's something that can kind of get a little bit annoying. So another thing that's technically wrong with all four doors, but especially the driver one, is that it doesn't like hold itself open at those 2 points. So the door will just fly open. And that's because this entire thing has been like ripped and cut out. And I don't really understand what happened to this, but all four doors are like this. So either the door is just flying out or closing on you super, super fast. So I feel like that is something that's really annoying, especially when we're loading the car for trips and you're trying to put something in the car and the door is just smacking you in the back. So that's always fun. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And if you're wondering why I'm doing the outro in the trunk, is because our neighbor decided to chop down a tree right now with a loud chainsaw. So we really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we love this car. We love our Sequoia so, so much. This is probably something that we're gonna keep forever until it literally dies on us, which it doesn't show any signs of yet. But we just wanna say, don't be scared of buying the cars that are higher in mileage, especially Toyotas. They really, really do take care of you. And if you notice in this video, we maybe said a few things that are wrong with the actual car and the engine. The rest is stuff that we either broke or little technical stuff that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But we really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Sequoia content.